Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 3. I have no idea what the title is. I looked at it, I said, huh? And then I just completely forgot about it. Yes, we're back here with Higurashi. I just finished Chapter 2, less than a month ago. And I told myself and you guys I wanted to take a little bit of a break because I don't want to be burned out by this. But here I am. I really want to continue this. More so than after I finished Chapter 1. After Chapter 1, I kind of rushed through it to get to the end for like a Halloween sort of deal, upload the last episode on the 31st, and then I hadn't played for months. Then I jumped back into Chapter 2, things are much different, we're getting more answers, we're getting a shit ton more questions, and now we're here with a whole new story. As far as I can tell, I'm pretty sure we're going to do the same thing we did in Chapter 2. Keiichi being, fresh in town, or fresh in the village. He's here, and he's ready to die in some sort of way. Yet again, we're going 3 for 3 here. So I have no idea what's going to happen here. All I know is that the character that we are going to be focusing on the most in this one is Sadako. So Chapter 1 was Rena, as we know, how she was trying to kill us there, maybe. And then Chapter 2, Mion most definitely trying to kill us. Not a maybe there, that was actually her intention at many points, her trying to literally murder us. And now here we are, Chapter 3, Sadako. What's going to happen here? What questions will rise here? What will be answered? And how confused will I be? As usual, I will definitely be relying on you guys as we go through this. And I guess a few more notes before we actually jump in. That's a nice looking bridge. Here's the name. All right. Can I pronounce this? Tatarigoroshi? Yeah, let's go with that. I'm never going to say that again. The curse killing chapter. Ooh, so we were informed by Mion, whether intentional or not, in Chapter 2, that Sadako is cursed. Just straight up. The shortest scenario, really? No way. Is this the shortest? Well, I'll be the judge of that with my weird episode format. Sometimes I do a 30-minute episode, sometimes a little less, and then sometimes an hour. I'm just never consistent. So the curse-killing chapter. Man, curse, or coincidence? How are the conjectures inside you solidifying? I look forward to whether those conjectures will waver or become a cornerstone in this scenario. The difficulty is the worst. You will probably not even be able to make conjectures. Well, I never usually do. My predictions are usually shit because I kind of forget about things that have been established earlier on, or things I should have considered when trying to make my predictions. And that's another thing, guys. I'm an idiot. So if you're new to all this, welcome. I'm an idiot. So I will definitely be relying on you guys. So another thing is that I've been using the 07th mod or 07th mod, link in the description. Their work is great in making the experience just fun. It's been fantastic. Taking a very old game and bringing in all the assets needed to really have it so you can play it the way you want. And I'm totally down with that. The way I have it with the console sprites and whatever else is totally great. Something I don't really care for, or at least I don't have too much of an opinion on whether or not we do the new or the old, is the soundtrack and sound effects. So in Chapter 1, I did the new stuff. Some people were asking why I had it set like that and not the original. I didn't really have an answer. I kind of just, chose what was given to me. The mod has been updated along with just everything going forward. The options for what kind of music and sound effects you want, you can now change on the fly in the game. You couldn't do that before. You had to do it through the installer. So in Chapter 1, I had the new stuff. Chapter 2, I decided, okay, I'll give it a shot with the old stuff. And it was totally fine. I did not have any sort of issues. There was a sense of creepiness with everything. I was cool with it. My experience did not feel ruined or affected in any way. So in Chapter 3 here, I'm going to go back to the new stuff just so I can actually have more of a close connection or opinion on the soundtrack, because of that gap between Chapter 1 and 2. I couldn't really make like a good comparison. Now I can, because I'm playing this very close to where I ended chapter 2. So enough of me rambling. Sorry for the long intro. Let's actually jump in here. I still don't like that noise. We hear it every time. The snake in the well was happy, for it did not care what was outside the well. The snake in the well was happy, for it had naught to do with what happened outside the well. And you were happy too, for you did not know what happened outside the well. Alright. Can't read a lot of what was in the corner there, but this is a work of fiction. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. This happened. 1983. I always forget the year that we're in. I know we're in the 80s, but I always forget the specific year. And don't worry, guys, I have my Kirkland Sport drink here. It's the off-brand Gatorade. Orange flavor, to be exact. And it is good. With this awful heat. It was a very humid day. Same here. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot, but sweltering so. There were various articles on clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. There were crooked houses and apartment buildings lining the narrow, twisting road. Oh, another thing is because we're using the newer sound effects and whatnot, I don't know how the settings are going to be. I copied down the same exact settings where the dials were in the settings menu for the volumes. I have no idea how they're going to be. So we'll kind of just adjust as we go. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to wilt, as bicycles and motorcycles on the sides of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Nobody who was in this place at this time was visiting it voluntarily. But in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The lone motorcycle, which couldn't be called neat, even as flattery, pulled up to a two-story apartment complex and stopped there. A man fairly old and wrinkled stepped off. When the housewife hanging out the laundry noticed him, she called out, "Well, hello there. It's quite hot today again, isn't it?" "Ooh, you've got that right. I feel like I'm gonna boil out here." Hehehe. "Oh, right, landlord. I didn't think that would be the first thing you said." Sorry. The fluorescent lights, right? I completely forgot." Hehe. "No, not that. Don't you smell it? There's a terrible smell about. I've been smelling it since this morning." "Wait, what's this? It reeks. Did the sewers get backed up again?" "Do something about it, landlord. I've had to keep my nose plugged all day long." Hehehe. "You'd still look plenty lovely plugging your nose, my dear." That laughter, I don't want to do it anymore. There was unhygienic drainage channel running behind the apartment. The lattice from which it flowed was stuffed with branches and fallen leaves, and when filth caught up in them, it created an awful stench in the summertime. Could you tell the municipal office about it? I cannot pronounce that correctly. I know what it is. The drain will end up buried at this rate. Well, yeah, that's another thing about me, guys. If you're new to all this, I'm an idiot when it comes to speaking. Well, yikes, it's completely blocked. It'll start back up if you poke it with a stick. The man crossed the fence over the drainage channel and picked up a filthy drying pole sitting nearby. He must have planned to stick it into the drain and clear it out. "Oh, wait, landlord, stop that. If you mix it all strange, if you do that, it will smell terrible. It smells if it's clogged and smells if it's mixed. Which should I choose?" He shoved the drying pole into the filth in the lattice. Of course, it did nothing to help the accumulation of waste. Yeah, it's a dead cat. This is the health center's job. Cats and dogs smell awful when everyone smells awful when they die. It doesn't matter who it is or what it is. A bamboo pole's not going to do much good. Garbage bags, old clothes, they throw all kinds of stuff in there. And is that a duck I see? Well, of course it stinks. The nerve of some people. The drainage channel was already unsanitary, what was a little more garbage at this point. The stream of such imprudent people was never ending, and now this channel had turned into a garbage dump. When he poked the pile of old clothes floating in the sewage, a black cloud of smoke flowed out in the water. The two of them grimaced at the terribly bizarre and repulsive sight. Gah, we've got maggots, huh? Someone must have thrown kitchen waste in. What, landlord? What's that? What, just more garbage? Landlord, that's... Huh? Ah! Is it a body? Oh, hello. Good work today. What a terrible stench. Hey, someone cover this thing with a tarp. From the second floor of the house, it's in full view. Identity of the deceased unknown. Oh, I was right. Sex female. Age estimated to be late 20s or early 30s. Time of death, about 2 or 3 days ago. She was probably abandoned after death. Naked, too. Figuring out who she is will be rough. Contact the community division and ask if anyone's gone missing. They probably weighed her down so she'd sink. Then the weights came off and she floated to the top. But why in a drainage sewer of all things? Would have been better under an overpass or in the mountains, you know? And it would have been outside our jurisdiction, right? But it looks like they never wanted to hide the corpse at all. Did they do it so she would be found? As a warning or something? And this slice in her stomach definitely wasn't from a fish eating her. She was cut open and her insides were dragged out. Ah, doesn't that sound a little familiar? It's like fucking smash into my desk. I didn't smash into it, but I definitely whacked it. They really made a show out of killing her. Doesn't the Chinese mafia do these sort of traditional punishments? Ask Shige-san in section 4 if he's had any trouble with Yakuza. On it, sir. Still, what a terrible way to go. Hey, don't her innards poking out like that look like sort of like the salad soba you can get in Kyoto? Maybe if you stuck chopsticks in, noodles would pop out? See? Why would you do that? Please, give me a break. Her intestines were pulled out and her ears and nose cut off. That's definitely not how I want to go. Her fingers are in a bad state too. There are long nails stuck in all of them, on both hands. What kind of torture was this anyway? And there we go. Alright, that's a good way to get the title card up. Yeah, what's going on here from the get-go? And where was that exactly? That wasn't in Hinamizawa. Or at least I'm pretty sure it wasn't. You had a bunch of vehicles, and I don't think Hinamizawa is known for having a bunch of vehicles all over the place. I could be wrong. I could be naive. Ah, back in the classroom. The most relaxing time during the day. Lunch for sure. Everyone brought their desks side by side like always, and we all ate together.
ミオさんのお弁当が今日はなかなか見事でございましたよ。品数がいっぱいで豪華なのです。
Well, words can't describe how glad to see that everybody's alive here. Sadako and Riki-chan looked at Mion's lunch, shouting gladly. Let's have a look. Whoa.
夕べの残りをちょっと詰めてきただけだよ。うちで昨日村長たちが酒盛りしててさ。それで残り物をちょいと取っておいたってわけ。
それでお酒のおつまみみたいなおかずが多いんだね。
残り物。つまりは残飯とはいえ、これだけ綺麗に弁当箱に収められてるとなかなかの迫力があるな。高級料亭の懐石弁当みたいだ。
人の印象のほとんどがファーストインプレッションで決まるようにさ。
It's true.
やっぱりお弁当の味も蓋を開けた時の綺麗さに比例するんじゃないかなって。
ミオさんってガサツそうな性格に見えて、結構こういう盛り付けのセンスがいいんですのよね。お部屋もいつも綺麗に片付いてるし。
Oh yeah?
みーちゃんはみんなが思ってるよりずっと几帳面で丁寧な人なんだよ。
Oh yeah, we've definitely seen that. It's all the same once it's in your stomach. I'd have thought Mion would say something like that, but to think she had this kind of taste. You can't judge a book by its cover. Mion was careful in everything she did. She never misstepped, faltered, or messed up. I see. She is our club president after all. Excuse me.
レナのお弁当も見劣らないのです。カニかまぼこのお花がとても綺麗なのですよ。
レナの弁当ってなんていうかいつも芸が凝ってるよな。リンゴのうさぎさんとか人参の花びらとかさ。
Rena's bento wasn't all about taste. It was like she always put her heart into it or something. It wasn't just good, it made your insides all nice and warm.
ありがとう。兄ちゃんにはちょっと及ばないけど、かいいかなって。
料理は技術じゃなくて愛情でしょ。その意味でだったら、私なんか足元にも及ばないって。
Love, huh? Yeah. Just from looking at her bento, I could definitely feel that Rena put her heart and soul into making it. And that's what her bento was like.
お弁当ってのは味だけでなく、見た目も大事ってことですわね。私たちも見習わないといけませんわね。
おお、で、その見習わなくちゃならない聡子たちの弁当はどうだ？お、
じゃーん。昨日ご近所さんにお裾分けのお肉をもらったので、今日は焼肉弁当なんでしてよ。
These ones too, they had such an impact. They were bursting at the seams with grilled meat. At a glance, it was too impactful for a girl's bento. But when you thought about eating with all your friends, it brought more than enough color to the table.
へえ、粗雑な体育会系弁当と見せかけて、おかずの品数も結構あるみたいじゃない。ほうれん草のおひたしとか、ひじきの煮物とか。
リカちゃんはこういう気取らない家庭料理がとても上手なんだよね。リカちゃんは将来立派なお嫁さんになれると思うよ。未来の旦那様をわしづかみなのです。
A husband for Rika-chan, huh? At first, that sounded appealing. It did, but I felt like a married life with her would be anything but normal. But really, everyone was amazing. They were all so young, and yet they're all capable of cooking for themselves. I would sort of cook whenever I went camping with my family, but making lunch every day was a level I definitely couldn't reach. Yeah, same here. Same here. I really struggle when it comes to cooking for myself on a daily basis. I don't know how people do it so well. I could really only cook in my spare time. When I thought about it like that, it really made everyone stand out more. Frankly, I respected them. Huh? Huh? I feel like maybe this doesn't only apply to other people. Come to think of it, this morning, when I was eating breakfast half asleep, I think my mom was saying something really important. With a hysteric groan, I suddenly stood up, startling everyone at once.
どうしたのかな
I think we forgot our lunch.
急に大声を出すからむせてしまいましたですわ。さとこのお鼻からご飯粒が出てますです。
Ah, I'd forgotten. All this stuff about cooking for yourself, it applied to me too. Let us retrace our steps here.
圭一、お父さんとお母さんね、またお仕事で東京に行ってこなくちゃならないの。
そう。はぁ、眠。
お父さんの先生にあたる人がね、イベントの直前で倒れちゃったの。とても大切なイベントなんでね、どうしても穴が開けられないのよ。
Well, Dad does what he has to do for his job.
それでお父さんとお母さん、そのイベントのお手伝いのために大至急東京に行かなくちゃならなくなったの。場合によっては何日か泊まり込みになっちゃうかも。
That's not really, surprising that our parents are leaving. They tend to do that. But, this early on? Something's up, man. Something's up. That sounds annoying.
その間、お母さんたちいないからご飯とかみんな圭一が自炊しなくちゃならないんだけど。
Uh-oh.
圭一は大丈夫？
大丈夫大丈夫。人間追い詰められたら何でもできるんだから。
It's true.
そうなら安心ね。ご飯くらいは炊けるでしょ。お味噌汁も作れるわよね。あとは適当にお惣菜を買ってくればご飯らしくなるから。
A meal? Yeah, I can cook rice with my camping kit. Never used a rice cooker before. I've only ever made instant miso soup that you make in a pot of boiling water too. Well, I'll think of something.
自炊できるなら置いていくお金は少しでいいわよね。外食は高いからしちゃダメよ。圭一もそろそろ自炊と経済観念を学んでもいい頃だからね。
God, me and my personal finances. I need some serious help. Yeah, I'll get by.
なんとかなるか
Well, we're gonna die. What was I thinking? I was half asleep and I made such crazy empty promises. Just like manga characters always do at times like these, I bent over backwards and scratched furiously at my head. Scratch.
ふーん、ケイチくんのご両親って大変なんだね。ケイチくん、しっかりお留守番をしてなきゃね。
そんなことより飯だ飯。親がいないんだぞ。全部自分で作らなきゃならないんだぞ。これは超緊急事態だ。
それなら覚悟を決めて自炊なさればいいではありませんの。ケイチさん、以前のカレーパーティーで見事なカレーを作ってみせたではありません？
あのな、俺に作れるのはデイキャンプでおふくろに教えてもらったカレーがせいぜいなんだよ。
Wait, curry party? Was it that like competition or whatever that we did? Does that carry over here?
3食カレーなんか食えるかよ。カレーなんて所詮はジャンクフード。
It was curry that's what the competition was, right? God, I'm trying to remember and I can't. Yeah, our instructor is like addicted to curry. Not really addicted, but like she's all about it.
栄養バランスなんてかけらもない。
Or was it
実にいい加
yakisoba
減
or
な
something? It's something. Mion and Sadako put their hands over my mouth. Oh god. A moment later, the door rattled open, and Chie-sensei, a known curry okay, yep, it was curry, silently poked her head in.
今誰かカレーの悪口を言っていませんでしたか？
Everyone's faces went totally white when they all shook their heads in denial. Her eyes rolled over the classroom. Her glare wasn't just a teacher's ordinary stare.
そうですか。空耳でしたか。
Oh yeah, those words you may have heard were just the wind. Chie-sensei gave one more look around the classroom and then closed the door and went back to the teacher's lounge. I may have been shouting, but for her to hear it from all the way across the hall in the teacher's lounge, oh, that teacher is terrifying.
ケイちゃん、他の食べ物はいくらこき下ろしてもいいけど、カレーだけはやめた方がいいよ。Hinamizawaに住んでいるうちは。
すまん。反省します。
And that's what I said. But still, I can't have curry for every meal. And cup ramen is good because you only eat it once in a while. If you ate it for every meal, you'd get bored of it pretty quickly. Rice and miso soup and a good side dish. Yeah, that's what a Japanese table should look like.
ケイチくんも頑張って自炊してみればいいのに。自分で作ったご飯ってとっても美味しいんだよ。
おじさんは美味しいってよりめんどくさいけどな。でもたまにはそういう経験もいいかもね。
そうそう、人生何事も経験でございましたよ。お指を切ったりやけどをしたりでかわいそうなのです。
With everyone encouraging me like this, I started to feel like maybe I could do it if I tried too. Though approximately one person didn't sound like she was encouraging me. Cooking is a skill I'll have to learn at some point, since I want to live on my own one day. Maybe learning now wouldn't be so bad. I'm pretty uneasy about it, but...
そうだな。この辺で多少の料理くらい得得しておかないと、今度部活で料理勝負になった時が辛い。
Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm really good at fucking cooking, excuse me. I really suck at it, to be completely honest. And I try to avoid it when I can. Other family members are usually who make the meals here in my house. But there will be one day, like Keiichi's saying, I'll be on my lonesome. And yeah, food's expensive if you're gonna eat out every day, so... someday I'm really just gonna have to bite the bullet and learn how to cook a little bit more than I do now. Luckily for me, unluckily for Keiichi, the internet is really, really helpful when it comes to just making basic shit. It really is helpful.
そうですわね。いつぞやのカレー勝負のような奇策は何度も通用しませんでございますしね。
As if scorning me, Sadako ridicules my comeback from a hopeless situation and a certain do-or-die curry showdown.
何を余裕ぶってやがる。あの時だって サトコはリカちゃんに任せっきりだったじゃないか。あの時サトコがした料理はなんだ？レナのカレーに塩を一袋入れて、
Okay, yeah, so this all did
ミオ
happen.
ンのご飯に塩を一袋入れて、俺の鍋をひっくり返しやがって。
I relapsed into my grudge over the last curry showdown. For now, I calm my unquellable anger by pinching Sadako's ears.
いたたたたたた。あれは部活だからの攻撃なんでございましてよ。私だってこう見えてもちょっとはお料理とかできましたよ。
ほう、あのカレー勝負の時、リカちゃんに任せっきりで人参の皮一つ剥かなかったお前がか？
Wasn't it Sadako who was theoretically cooking in our previous chapter, where we were trying to predict what may have happened to the two of them?
肩腹痛いわ。
Wasn't she making a stew?
人間は日々進歩してますのよ。私がいつまでもお料理が下手っぴだと思ってると大間違いなんでしてよ。ねえリカ。僕が見てないとお鍋とか火元とか不安なのです。たまにガスの元栓も閉め忘れてるのです。
Yeah, that's not good. Hahaha. Everyone burst into laughter.
火元は料
Except
理
for
以
me.
前の問題だ。いくら俺でもそれだけはない。
カップラーメンばかり食べてる人に言われたくありませんわ。でもさとこちゃんもそこそこにはお料理とかできるんだよ。
いいぞレナ、こんなやつのためにわざわざフォローなんかしてやることはないんだぞ。
いや別にフォローってわけじゃないよ。リカちゃんがずば抜けて料理がうまいから目立たないだけでさ。さとこちゃんだってまあ基本くらいはマスターしてるよね。少なくともご飯とお味噌汁くらいは作れますわ。カリフラワーとブロッコリーの見分けはつかないけど。
It should be kind of easy on that one.
どっちも茹でれば食べられるのも同じですわ。
Sadako erupted into anger, making two fists and swinging them above her head. Everyone laughed a lot after that.
他の人にならともかくケイチさんに笑われるのだけは我慢がなりませんですわ。
確かに俺は他のみんなよりも料理技術は劣るかもしれない。だけどな、少なくともサトコにだけは負けない自信はあるぞ。少なくともサトコにだけは。
なんですって。急にこと書いて自信があるとは肩洗いたくて笑っちゃいますわ。こう見えても私リカと交代でご飯をちゃんと作ってますのよ。ちゃんと自炊ぐらいできるんでございますからね。
そうかそうか、自炊ができて偉いな。後でご褒美に飴玉買ってやるからな。
I patted Sadako on the head while I made fun of her. Sadako seemed to know I was making fun of her too, since her face went bright red very quickly and steam started to pour out like she was a kettle.
全然信じてませんのね。とにかくケイチさんより私の方が全然お料理が上手なんでございますのよ。
ほう、じゃあカリフラワーとブロッコリーの違いを言えたら俺も信じてやるぞ。俺言ってみろ。
緑の方がブロッコリー、どっちなくて黄色い方カリフラワーが青、赤、緑。
Why is she bringing in all these other colors?
ほれほれ、ブロッコリーは何色だ？青、赤、緑ってテレビのブラウン管じゃあるまいし。ほれほれ、言ってみろ言ってみろ。別にブロッコリーが何色かわかんなくてもさとこちゃんはお料理ができるんでちゅよね。偉い偉いでちゅよ。
Damn, the bullying is so fucking real in the beginning of this one.
ケイチさんのバカ。
Oh, it was nothing to cry hysterically about. She's so goddamn cute. I stroked her head as hard as I could. Ruffle, ruffle, ruffle.
ほー、ケイちゃんもそこまで言うからにはサトコよりはまともなものを作ってみせられるんだろうね。
Well, time to whip out the curry skills again. remarked Mion, giving me just a slightly mean smile. Actually, well, I had no confidence at all in my cooking. But the situation carried me along, and I decided to deliver an impressive declaration.
まあ見ていろ今夜俺はバッチリガッチリ見事な晩飯を作ってみせる
Okay, we're really digging a hole here.
少し余計に作って明日の弁当にしてくるからそれを見て腰を抜かすがいい
それは楽しみなのです。明日のお弁当が待ち遠しいのですよ。
Rika-chan petted me on my head. Her words of can't wait sounded so transparent.
レナも楽しみにしてるね。どんなのを作ってきてもレナは笑わないからね。
Oh, thanks.
となると明日の弁当は私も本気で作らなきゃならないようだね。じゃあこうしようか。明日のお弁当で勝負ってのはどう？
Well, who didn't see that one coming?
もちろん部活扱いだからね。罰ゲームもついちゃうよ。
あら、それは妙案でございますわね。どうですケイチさん。聞くなら今のうちでしてよ。
Sadako wiped her tears and snarled at me, as if this was her chance to turn things around. Maybe this is bad? I feel like maybe the conversation is getting pretty out of hand. Oh, if I apologize, now's my chance? But what came out of Keiichi Maibara's mouth was a statement so reckless, it even frightened me.
ああ上等だぜ明日の弁当を見て腰を抜かすなよ
Oh, we're fucked. Everyone raised their voices in surprise at my bold, confident reply. Now I've done it. What have I done? I'm so irresponsible. No wonder we always die in these
さ
chapters.
てミオさん、ビリになったらどんな素敵な罰ゲームになってしまうんですの？
Sadako grinned fearlessly, as if to say that it was already decided I'd be playing said fantastic punishment game.
そうだね。じゃあこんなのはどうかな。明日のお弁当勝負に負けた人は明日のお昼休み職員室で食事中の千恵先生の前で
Oh no.
カレーの悪口を言うってのは。
みーちゃん、それは
It's fucking brutal.
なんて恐ろしい。
Everyone went pale and gasped at how truly terrifying the punishment game was. Chie-sensei is such a maniac about curry that she'd risk her life for it. And to go up to her and start saying bad things about curry? What kind of fate would await us? Just trying to imagine it was scary. And as everyone looked blankly amazed at the terrifying punishment game, Rika-chan spoke.
明日のお弁当は腕によりをかけますです。
Rena and Mion and Sodoko, everyone nodded deeply in agreement.
もっともケイチさんには明日のお弁当以前に今夜のお夕食の方が問題でしょうけどね。
俺が今夜どんな素晴らしいディナーになるか見ることができなくて残念だな。明日の弁当でその片鱗をほんの少しだけ見せてやるから楽しみにしていろよ。
あれだけの大見栄を切ったんですのよ。これでとんでもないのを作っちゃったらどうなるか分かってるんでございましょうね。
Yes, we were just told what the punishment game was.
さとここそ明日千恵先生にどんな恐ろしい目に遭わされるか今から楽しみで仕方ないだろう。
楽しみでしてよ。明日ケイチさんはきっと土下座してそれだけはどうかご勘弁をって泣きながら言うんでしてよ。ああ、目に浮かぶようですわ。
何よ。
Both of us on the verge of tears pulled on each other's cheeks. Stretch. Ah, yes. My favorite ability, stretch.
自らを窮地に追い込むことで視力を振り絞ろうとはケイちゃん男だね。
こんなの男なんて言いませんのよ。ただの無鉄砲って言いますのよ。自分もお料理なんかろくろくできないくせに。 レナは信じてるからね。素敵なお弁当楽しみにしてるよ。僕も明日の圭一がとても楽しみなのですよ。
Their expectant gazes were painful. I was just trying to tease Sadako a little. How did it come to this?
おう、楽しみにしててくれよ。
How am I able to say such reckless things? I'm being so unreasonable. What the heck is going to happen to my dinner? And the bento showdown tomorrow? No, more importantly, if they make me say bad things about curry to Chie-sensei's face, what'll happen to me? The extreme contrast between my outward bravado and my internal screaming continued as the hot and humid June afternoon dragged on. Well, we're fucked. Like, 100% absolutely dumbfoundedly fucked. That entire day, up until school was over, the whole time, my meal tonight and my bento tomorrow were the only things on my mind. And now that I thought about it, it made Mom seem amazing for planning 3 meals every day of the year. I've complained before about having the same meal in a row once in a while, but now I know how rude that was. More importantly, what am I going to do about the punishment game tomorrow? And besides that, what am I going to eat tonight? Boo-hoo.
圭一くん、圭一くん、
ああ、ごめん。ちょっと考え事を。
今夜の献立のこと？それとも明日のお弁当勝負のことかな？
She hit the mark, and I couldn't find anything to say. And my facial expression made obvious the fact that she had hit the mark.
明日の勝負はきっと圭一くんが頑張ってお弁当を作ってこれたらそれで大丈夫だと思うよ。頑張って作った手作りのお弁当に優劣なんかないもの。
Oh, but this is a challenge. Not with you guys, but with ourselves.
明日の勝負以前に今夜の晩飯だよ。食中毒でばったり行くかもしれない。
I couldn't make any more bluffs. I exaggeratedly drooped my shoulders and heaved a sigh from the bottom of my gut. Rena laughed in a shrill way when she saw me do that.
やっぱり圭一くん、お料理全然自信なんかなかったんだね。
Hell no, neither do I. So I've been found out.
もしも圭一くんがどんなに頑張っても無理そうだったらレナに電話してもいいからね。
本当か？
I'm really glad that after Rena tried to kill us in Chapter 1, she's been just so dependable, you know? Just in general, a very dependable character in Chapter 2, and now here in the beginning of Chapter 3 when death is already upon us.
圭一くんがちゃんと頑張ったらだよ。何も苦労しないで人に頼ろうとしちゃダメなんだから。
Rena seemed naive, but sometimes she was instructive. She didn't just spoil people unconditionally. Rena always seemed like an adult at these moments.
どうしてもダメだったら電話するよ。その確率は極めて高いが。
ファイト、おうだよ。さとこちゃんにあれだけ大見栄を切ったんだから頑張らなきゃ。
なあ、さとこってどの程度の料理ができるんだ？
少なくとも圭一くんよりはできるよ。
And that was so direct. It hit me pretty hard.
さとこちゃんをあれだけいじめたんだから圭一くんはちょっぴり苦労をしてもいいかもね。
レナって結構意地悪なのな。
レナは可愛いだけじゃないんだよ。
Now that I'd provoked Sadako that much, I couldn't just make some crummy bento. I can't believe how loose-lipped I am.
じゃあね。頑張ってね。お料理、圭一くんがやればできるってことみんなに見せてあげようね。
おう。
I waved my hand absently in response. Leaving me with words of encouragement and a few pieces of super beginner advice, Reno disappeared past the trees. And there we go. We have finished the first little segment here of the game. On our way to victory already. Or death, actually. I don't know how we're gonna get victorious out of this one. No tips there. I don't think we're done with the full-on first bit of this. There's usually 2 segments that are together, and then you get some tips. What's going on? Okay, I guess we're just transitioning into our house. Alrighty. We will save the game here. We are done with the first episode. Next time, we'll see what Keiichi can pull out of his ass, to be completely honest. I really don't know if he can pull much out of it, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to get going here. I'm also, I don't know, it's not exactly a sense of nostalgia, but it is nice to hear the soundtrack that they redid, I guess. I think in 2019 is what it said. Regardless, it is nice to hear it because I really only did hear it in Chapter 1. And again, not saying that the old stuff is bad, but it is nice to hear these calming melodies, these nice little tunes as we dick around with our classmates. And I guess you could say the same thing about the old stuff. It just seemed a little bit more wild, upbeat. I think upbeat is the better word, but again, I don't really have too much of an opinion. It's nice to actually get a comparison, though. Thank you all for watching the first episode of Higurashi Chapter 3 here. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. If you'd like to join me and, I guess, stay up to date with the episodes for Higurashi, I'm excited to continue this on. And again, hopefully we can learn more about, well, anything. I'm excited to also see what sort of direction this will go in, since we're starting to take pieces from how Chapter 2 started with the slice of life stuff. I don't know if that's going to, I guess, shorten the slice of life content a little bit. I think somebody commented in Chapter 2 saying that there's not going to be much in this one, so maybe that's the case. There's enough slice of life content from Chapters 1 and 2 that we can kind of just carry that over and, you know, make a little adjustments here and there so it all fits. I don't know. But if that's the case, I won't complain. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.